I don't know if you were intentionally leading into that, but one of my topics was that I had written down do you think it's easier to give a speech and get a lot of laughs at a funeral or a wedding? And I don't know how many weddings or funerals you've attended. I didn't realize you had attended a funeral very recently. I also have, which you knew about. I think we talked about my buddy passing away. I'll tell you, mine is, first off, the hard thing about a wedding is not that many people are giving speeches, right? Mm-hmm. At a funeral, there's a lot more acceptance, I think, of like, open microphone, go up and tell your story.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to have some very sad or very boring stories. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even saying that obviously the topic of death is not as funny or not as much of like fodder for humor, obviously in that moment as a wedding might be. But for me, the stakes are so high, the tension is built so high, and everybody is bombing because no one else is trying to get laughs, by the way. And tell me if you have this also. I feel an obligation because everyone knows, they're like this, like everyone hates public speaking, and they're like, well, Casey likes public speaking.
Yeah,
Casey can be like the spokesman for our group, almost is what I feel. They may not actually feel that way, but I'm like somebody from if I'm like the spokesman for my coalition at this wedding or funeral, and so I like at this funeral I went up and or celebration of life, like you said, and then I cried, baby. I didn't realize that was part of the deal. We cried and then we went and drank after. It was very fun. It was all like old college friends. But yeah, I feel like I got to go up and be like break the tension a little bit.
Because you think it's like expected of you?
Well, I think it's like a thing I'm good at, and I think the funeral needs it.
Oh, you got to bring some levity to it.
I got to bring a little levity.
A podcast hosted by two white comedians.